I was thinking we could sort of, I had a question on my mind, and I think I'd like to push it towards Sento. So if Ham could keep quiet just briefly, I just want to hear briefly, well, both your opinions, but firstly, Sento's opinions or thoughts on slippers.
Slippers? You mean house slippers?
Yeah.
Or the beach slippers? Nah, you mean the beach? Like I'm for the beach.
Oh, yeah, I know. Okay.
That's flip flops. Actually, that's not flippers. Yeah. That's flip flops. Yeah. My bad.
I was talking more house slippers.
House slippers. When I was younger, I hated them. I've always been a barefoot guy while walking around home. Not even socks, just completely barefoot. But since these last dogs I had, well, the one of them specifically, who is 11 months old and still fucking shits and weaves all over the fucking house. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm a flipper.
Is that your dog?
He's flippers.
My dog. Yeah,
flippers.
And I'm a flipper guy. Yeah, of course I don't want to walk suddenly over some shit, some piss. I mean, the shits, you can see them at least, but not the piss.
Painting a right old picture of his house, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, obviously, it's not all day like that. I pick it up when I see it, mate.
So next, if he's saying he's wearing wellies around. Ham, what's your opinion on slippers?
Right, I'll tell you a little story about the slippers saga of my life. So I used to have a pair of slippers, and we're probably going back to when I was 10 years old.
Jesus.
Now I will send you a picture of these slippers. Now I was 10 years old, and they were a pair of Homer Simpson slippers. So what you'd do is you put your feet into his mouth, and they'd be lovely little snug things. Now I had similar to Sento. I had 2 cats at that time.
Yeah.
And one day I remember going to put my slippers on with no sock on, barefoot. I put my foot into Homer's mouth, and as you can see, there's not much sort of vision there. And I believe my foot touched a dead mouse. Put in there. And to this day, I have never bought another pair of slippers. I wear sliders and sliders only. But slippers like that are a complete no-go because I think I've got a bit of a phobia.
Sliders with socks, though?
I'll wear sliders with socks. I don't care these days.
Yeah, that's why we hate you, Brits.
So we've got to do it for the cause. I mean, I have been traumatized, right? I have been traumatized when I was 10 years old. 16
and what
years
do you mean? What you believe it was a dead mouse? You didn't even find out.
I was 10, mate. I felt something. I shook it upside down. I saw something fall out, and I screamed.
You ran.
My mum sorted the rest. I jumped into the bath to wash my foot.
Oh, yeah, that was probably the cats.
Yeah, I've never seen them put a mouse anywhere else either.
I don't know about you guys, but my cat always brings all type of stuff inside me. Mouse. She actually brings it. Cats are supposed to throw them away, but she brings me mouse, mice, crickets, roaches, birds, like everything, mate. Alive birds. Sometimes they arrive dead already. Yeah. A couple times she brought them alive, and they just start flying around the living room and something like that. Yeah. Most of the times it's dead.
Why has the topic of slippers come up anyway?
I just thought of slippers, and I thought maybe Sento would think the term wouldn't ring a bell with Sento, which is why I wanted to ask him first. But I know that he wears house shoes, flip-flops, which he's called flippers.
Yeah, flippers. I've heard flippers many times before.
And yeah, I mean, for my little 6p piece, I've never been a slippers person. I don't know. There's something about the softness of them. I don't like the fact that they sort of mop up dust and that. So I've always opted for actually just wearing shoes around the house, which I don't do anymore. I have these. which are my house shoes.
Those are flippers, basically.
What are they?
They are
But
my
posh
house
flippers.
shoes. Yeah.
I'm in a state. Yeah, oh, mate, you've got some Birkenstocks.
He's got Birkenstocks, and he's got the
He's got
closed toe
Birkenstocks.
ones. I believe they're called the Boston ones. If you want to just quickly
He's
Google.
got Birkenstocks.
And if I take off my shoe, this is what I've actually got on my foot.
Oh,
mate,
that's a flipper, mate.
Uggs.
That's a flipper.
He's got some Uggs.
He's got the Ugg slipper.
Right, so my dad had made a purchase, right, which I was very disappointed in him for.
Crocs.
No, he's bought some Uggs, but there's some Ugg. They're
Not the boots.
They are Ugg slippers.
Okay.
Have a
the
Google.
boots.
Have a Google of an Ugg slipper. I'll whack it into the chat quick. He's got a pair of these.
Oh,
Okay. He's looking like a proper little Aboriginal man, is he?
He goes outside in them. He goes outside in them. And the only other person I have seen wear them is currently Will on Love Island.
Yes, I was literally just about to say. I didn't want to bring him up, but he's a legend anyway. We'll leave him.
Now, his personality traits, I have mentioned to my dad and sort of said, it's a little bit on that side.
The way he dances, I honestly, I was in stitches. I was in absolute stitches. But
so basically, your dad does follow tendencies, isn't it?
I'm not sure if he creates the trend or if he follows it. It's one of them.
He has always looked after himself, isn't he, Jane?
He creates it. He creates it. I don't know him, but I'm pretty sure he creates them. Love Island.
Yeah, there's not many middle-aged men with bodies like that, is there?
Love Island people always go for him for some advice.
Jesus Christ, cut that bit out. There's also not many 26-year-old 25-year-old males with Birkenstocks. Imagine going into this guy's little shoe box and seeing some Uggs and Birkenstocks on top of each other. And then right at the bottom, you've got the complete contrast with a Raf Simons.
Well, I mean, like I said, I've not been a slippers man for a long time. Sento will know, when we lived at university, I was always rocking shoes around the house. Never slippers.
Don't you remember I was always going
flip-flops and socks
around the house?
I thought flip-flops and socks.
Oh yeah, because it was cold.
Yeah. Although, we'd come back, in January, I'd come back from a day out and then, it'll be freezing outside. You'd go in, heating on, but then Sento's in there in a t-shirt, shorts and flip-flops. Oh, dear. Right, anyway, before we start getting into sort of the economics of the current energy crisis and, how to dress up warmer and stuff indoors, welcome to the PixelPlayers podcast, episode 16, Sweet 16. Sweet 16. It's our sweet 16th. Anything to say about that?
Let's get a pair of Uggs to celebrate.
Yeah, a pair of Uggs to celebrate. Put it on the list. So yeah, welcome to the home of nostalgic pixel football. Please find us on Twitter at pixelplayersnft or the Spanish one. Sento, what's the Spanish one?
At pixelplayers_es.
For all your pixel football news, updates, current affairs, fixtures, artworks, the lot. So check us out. I'm George, you're at Feather Ball.
I'm Sento or at @ratpinat_.
I'm Sam or at Skipper NFT.
And then you might wonder why I sounded a bit shaky on explaining who I was. And that is because last week I struggled massively to say my own name.
You just have to watch episode 15 to the very beginning, mate.
And I've changed my name. You might have
what
noticed.
Happened with the first Noval, mate?
Feather Naval's gone. I've decided that to say that word is actually quite difficult. So now it's just Feather Nova Ball. Feather Nova Ball.
Didn't you have just Feather Nova at the very beginning?
I can't have that. It's been taken. I love it. Honestly, I'd love it. I can't have it. I've got feathernova.f. That's mine. So if Adidas come knocking for that, they can have it for a reasonable price.
Couple of million euros, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But a lot to talk about today, haven't we? Been a very, very exciting weekend, in my opinion. I'm on cloud 9, and we didn't even win.
Why is that?
Well, the title race
because
has been
Arsenal
yeah.
has lost.
Well, they drew.
This
Well,
it's
they
the
drew,
classic
yeah.
Chelsea fan now. I mean, he's on cloud 9, right? He's on cloud 9 about a league position of a team that's not Chelsea. You know,
Cloud
he was
9.
on there.
Cloud 9, mate. That's right.
I mean, we said last week that Chelsea looked optimistic. You know, spent all this money. They unfortunately, grab a quick draw against.
Well, we
Look,
will be getting
did you
onto
draw?
that because there's actually more to the story, I think.
They're settling down, mate. They're settling down. You don't get it.
I mean, I watched this game. I watched this West Ham game, and I mean, where do you even start?
You
Enzo
start with a
Fernandez
pretty good half an hour of Chelsea, mate. That's where you start.
Enzo Fernandez looked good. João Felix looks good. Why didn't you win though? That's my question. Where did it go wrong?
Well,
You didn't score
maybe
enough
we'll leave it
goals.
on that. We'll leave that one on that cliffhanger. Where did that go wrong? We'll revisit that. Because first, to kick off this episode for everyone at home, please like, please comment, and please subscribe for this. Because we've got British Service Station or Unfamiliar Footballer, which is a favourite on the podcast.
Yes, I love it, mate.
Sento's fist is in the air.
I'm not sure who's
It is. No, both of them.
YouTube will be bringing back the dislike button.
Last week, I'm pretty sure last week we had 2 correct answers from the pair of you. So congratulations for that. If you do want to go back and listen, episode 15 at the very start, we do give you the.
Hold on. We need to.
I
think
failed it.
Seno was wrong.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, was he?
I was going to say
School,
player and set service station just to say the opposite.
Yeah, he said the opposite of me, just so we had one winner.
Maybe we should keep a tally.
I think we need to.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
I'm
right.
ready.
From now on, I say one first, then Ham. So
you can go with the same. You can go with the same.
What do you mean?
Like, if I say...
No, because the other one has to be completely the opposite. So, for example, if you say, what was it, like Greenwich, the other one? Like one of them,
Greenwich, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Greenwich. So, for example, let's say footballer. Then by default, Ham has to be a service station. If I win it, I get a point. If not, Ham. And then next week, Ham decides first.
Okay.
And I have to be the opposite.
Okay.
So that way we can,
Yeah. But who's going first this week then, just to establish that first?
Seno goes first.
Yeah, I'll go. Why not?
All right, because you got it. Right. All right then. British Service Station.
You got it wrong.
Episode 16, Sweet 16. I think
whoever gets it wrong decides first. Or whoever gets it right decides first.
Whoever gets it wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we ready for the name of British Service Station or Unfamiliar Footballer for Sweet 16?
Yes, I am.
We'll be revealing the answer at the end of the show. So you can either be impatient and skip forward or be loyal and listen through. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. The name this week on British Service Station or Unfamiliar Footballer is Widrington.
What? Say that again?
Whoa.
Widrington. There we go. Widrington.
That sounds like the name of a place for some reason.
Okay, I'll leave you with that for now. Firstly, I think maybe the Arsenal game is actually, what's caused the most maybe emotion and fallout from this weekend is Arsenal dropping points at home to Brentford.
Was it Arsenal or was it?
Was it VAR? Was it Lee
What's
Mason?
His name? Lee Mason.
Why can you not give the credit to Brentford then?
Brentford were amazing. Brentford were amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was no VAR fault or Arsenal's fault. It was just Brentford's excellence.
Well, I mean, to be fair as well, I think, I appreciate the PGMOL have issued an apology or whatever, but I mean, it is a bit of a clutch, isn't it?
It is.
It was the play before the play that took a deflection that put the guy through on goal.
I think it was the. I was confused watching and listening to it, but I was
free kick.
impression, it was the final touch, wasn't it?
No, it's the first one, mate.
Was it?
So-
See, I
so-
don't even know.
So right, what happened? There was a free kick, right? And on the free kick, someone who was just a little bit offside was blocking. Not sure who it was.
Oh, that's it.
He was
Ethan
holding,
Pinnock
he was
was it?
holding him back.
Yeah.
Neither of them players touched the ball.
Yeah, they
Someone else
interfered,
touched the ball,
but it is in the rules, right?
but he was interfering because he was
Yeah.
holding him back. And then someone else touched the ball, and it ended up making its way through on goal, and then he crossed it back in, and Tony tapped it in. But you know, it's
No, Arsenal fans are absolutely fuming about this.
but it's
Are you
only-
low-key saying that City bought out the refs or Brentford?
I just think it's incompetence, mate.
I also saw
Yeah,
a
probably.
brilliant sign at the Arsenal game. Someone was holding it up, and it was like something saying along the lines of "Arsenal are class," something that oil money cannot buy.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I just wonder at how much their deal with Emirates is.
And I've seen that as well.
You know, I mean, what's their stadium called?
It's hypocrisy of the highest level, isn't it?
That's his name, Jesus.
The stadium is literally called Emirates.
I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, I mean, you've got these clubs that perpetuate this idea of class and tradition. You know, your Man Uniteds, your Liverpools, your Arsenals, and you've got Man United and Liverpool fans begging for Saudi and Qatari investment right now. So, you know, who knows what to say
Isn't it a
about
little
it?
bit sad though, this state of the leagues?
Yeah,
Like,
it is sad. And
all
and
these people buying off the clubs basically for image or as a business. Some of them actually are football fans. I don't want to be successful. But
And
I don't know.
some of them own the Oscars and just want, spend 500 million.
I
Not
think it
own
was
it, sorry, he's just the CEO, interim CEO of the Oscars.
but wasn't there more like, I don't know, unison of some way before when the clubs were mainly owned by British people and Spanish by Spanish and so on?
yeah, that was back in
I don't know.
when we started all getting into football. I think it was still
basically.
just about of the older.
That's
Yeah.
when it was, I guess, starting to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you know? Would you be able to tell me your last English owner, George?
Yeah, Ken Bates. Yeah, sold it for £1,
Ken
didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah,
For a
sold
quid.
it for £1.
Jesus.
Yeah, we were in big financial mess basically. Sold it for
Should have
£1.
called me out. I
Or was it
sell it
bought it
for-
for £1? I can't remember if we bought it for £1.
Did he sell it to Abramovich?
Yeah, sold it to Abramovich. So he definitely bought it for £1.
I would have given two, mate.
Yeah, he bought Chelsea for £1, sold it to Abramovich.
Do you know
Well-
Tottenham's?
Well, isn't he?
No,
Alan
it was
Sugar.
Levy. Lord Sugar.
Lord
yeah.
Sugar. God, well, getting all the niceties in there. So,
But yeah, I mean, Levy is, but you got Joe Lewis, who's
American.
English, American, something in between.
Yeah. Well, it's a very interesting title race now with all this mess that Man City are in. I think what's happened on the weekend and what is probably going to happen Wednesday, a Man City win, they're going to feel galvanised. I think they're going to have the whole, bit between the teeth, us against them mentality. Which
Yeah.
is, worked for Chelsea. That's what's worked in the past. Everyone against us. Let's go and show them, stick it to them, sort of thing. I think Man City could get into that headspace quite easy this week. If they put Arsenal.
I don't think Arsenal will thrive under that. I think it will be questions over: are there two bottle job clubs in North London? Only time will tell.
I won't answer that yet.
I personally think, right, if Arsenal do not win the Premier League this season, it has to be one of the.
Is that enough for you, or do you want them completely out of top four? Because I think they'll probably make the argument
they're
that it's been
not
a successful season. Because they wanted top four, didn't they, at the start of the season? So
I'm not, mate.
This is definitely a
has
successful
it been a successful season for Arsenal if they only get top four? If they get top
Right.
four?
Yes.
If Arsenal finish fourth, do you think Arsenal fans are happy?
I think
Oh,
they
obviously
can
not.
see the silver lining, but I don't think
Yeah,
they
but
are.
you could
No,
you
you
could
can't.
you could see it from two different perspectives, though. Like at the beginning of the year, no one would have thought we would be in this situation. Like Arsenal, top of the league, pretty much the entire league. And they're battling. I mean, they're racing for the title. That's
right.
There's no doubt. But I mean, their objective was definitely champions, not top of. I mean, winning the Premier League. Now reaching this situation, yes, you would be quite sad if you don't win it.
But when Leicester won the Premier League, right,
Yeah.
and Tottenham were second, and Tottenham were called the bottle jobs, I to this day do not understand how Tottenham were expected to win.
Well,
I genuinely don't understand it. Whereas if and you know, did Tottenham expect to win the Premier League that season? No. Were we happy we finished second?
like
No.
to Leicester, second to Leicester, yeah.
No, mate.
Yeah. I think
It's not the same
you
thing,
win.
though.
That
Like
was
being
the
second to Leicester than second to City.
that was the
That's
season
a little bit
after
sad.
Spurs looked at it and thought that was our chance, really, wasn't it? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but you look at Arsenal and they could be 8 points ahead.
I think that's why
5
Arsenal
points.
fans are going to be so disappointed, because if you look at City now, they are a bit of a wounded animal, aren't they? You know, they're in the courts fighting off FA and whatever.
But they're still City, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not in shambles like Liverpool.
Well, they have lost. You know, they lost João Cancelo in January, but no, they're nowhere near
hold
the rest of Liverpool.
But they're in a shambles. They've been charged by 100 counts by the
Yeah,
FA.
they've got a big cloud looming over them. You know,
They've got
Football-wise, I mean, like football-wise.
Yeah, but it has an impact, doesn't it? On them?
Oh yeah, it does.
Football-wise, you know, the loss to Spurs last week, I was watching that game thinking, this City aren't going to give Arsenal a run, but this is awful. The City that were at Spurs were dreadful. And I was sat there thinking, Arsenal have won this league. You know, the state that City look in on the pitch at the moment, you know, this is awful.
You said that a few times watching City as well.
Yeah,
I think
inspiring.
I think the Premier League right now is just very competitive overall. So if you just finished second when your objective was just top 4, I think that's a really good.
But your objective
outcome.
changes throughout the season, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if Arsenal's objective, as at today, is not to win the Premier League, they can't just.
I mean, obviously,
fall back on, oh well.
You cannot have that not as an objective when you were at some point 8 points clear and now 3 points clear. But yeah, I mean.
And they've spent in January as well. You know, they've reinforced the squad. Quite, you know, Jorginho and Trossard are quite good players to be adding to your squad in January. Huh?
I don't really understand the Jorginho one.
No, I mean, he's definitely not a like for Partey, or, you know, he's very different to everything else they've got, which is positive but negative as well. Because if Partey gets injured, their whole game style changes, doesn't it?
Maybe for more depth, like squad depth, you know.
Yeah, he's definitely a backup. But, you know, Arsenal. I think Arsenal fans are getting sweaty palms. You know, they always struggle at this time of the season, early March, going into Easter.
Yeah.
And if they lose to City this week, it's going to be a bit of, you know, it's going to be nightmarish, isn't it? I think they're going to fall asleep Wednesday night having flashbacks to sort of, you know, Spurs away, Newcastle away last season, on the brink of, you know, completing the job sort of thing. They're not on the brink though. It's mid-Feb. Do you know what I mean? Very interesting. You know, to get to mid-Feb and have not seen the top 2 teams face each other yet is exciting. I think it makes the game more exciting in a way.
Well, I would also say so. I mean, one of the biggest talking points at the beginning of the season was Arsenal's first 10 games that sort of got them into this run.
Yeah,
they had easy games. The first 10, arguably easy. So after the Man City game, I mean, they could pick it up quite quickly again.
They've got Emery's Villa on Saturday, early kickoff as well. So Wednesday night 8:00, Saturday early kickoff.
Sounds pretty good,
mate. They got Aston Villa away.
I fancy Villa for that. Villa are going to take a point, mate.
Okay, so they've got Aston Villa. They've got Leicester, Everton, Bournemouth, Fulham, Palace, Leeds.
See, they'll beat Leeds. They'll beat Palace. Fulham are a good team.
But I can't really see, objectively right now, any of those teams getting a clear win over Arsenal.
Football's funny though, isn't it?
Football is funny. Football's beautiful.
Humbler. as Grizz Khan would say, if it was a humbler.
Then towards the end of the season, they've got Man City at the Etihad, Chelsea, Newcastle, all in a row. Those three teams in a row.
I think Arsenal are on the ropes, honestly. Now I don't know if I'm just speaking into existence, but I think Arsenal are on the ropes.
I think it's a little combination of you actually wanted that to be true, and also kind of giving that vibe. I mean, it gives the vibe to me because there's only 3 points away. They've actually City have been cutting that distance little by little, but I don't know, man. I think this Premier League is for Arsenal.
Are Man United in the title race?
Definitely.
Of course they are.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
I actually think the title race is between Arsenal and Man United. For some reason, I don't see City winning it this year.
Settle down, mate. Settle down. That's ludicrous.
Nah.
I think it could quite easily turn into a 3-horse race, though. I know what you're saying.
Why not? Like Klopp is in shambles because of what you said before. Also, Haaland doesn't seem to be happy. They just get rid of Cancelo. I don't know, man. Pep, for some reason, seems like it's a bit of the end of his cycle at City. At least for me, it does look like.
He's certainly looking stressed. I'll say that.
I don't know. He doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't give me the vibe like they're capable of winning this Premier League.
But they'll
have
really
the team.
happy.
They definitely have the team.
They'll be really happy
with
getting the 3 points yesterday, and I actually think they looked pretty good in the first half. So,
do you know a team that does look happy to me? Everton.
Well, with Dyche.
With Dyche.
Well, on the topic of that, that's actually tonight. We are recording this at about 7 o'clock on a Monday night. 1 hour's time. We're speaking of a Merseyside derby, and I actually am backing Everton.
I agree. I think Everton.
I wouldn't be happy if I was 18th though.
Yeah, but Dyche is just
you are said
that's the thing. That's why I'm not happy.
Speaking from experience.
That's why I'm not happy.
But I mean, but they've had a change of manager, and I mean, they've just come off the back of beating Arsenal.
I think it's exciting.
If you beat Barcelona, and now you add your sort of derby, who would a derby with Valencia be? Barcelona.
Villarreal.
Yeah. So you beat Barcelona, and then you got Villarreal. You'll be well up for it.
Of course.
He can't even dream of these sort of results now. Look at him.
Actually not, mate.
This is his wildest dreams.
It is. It actually is right now. I can't even picture it on my head. I'm trying. I'm really trying. I'm trying, but I can't. I can't even see getting someone exciting as coach.
Well, maybe this is a good segue, Sensei. Maybe you should start talking just a bit about Valencia's weekend. There's been quite a big weekend for Valencia.
It has. Well, it all started with the little protest we chatted about in the last episode. And well, it was a protest that started 1 hour before the game until 19 minutes in the game. And well, 19 minutes, all the people always ask me, the club was founded in 1919. So we always use the 19th minute for something special.
And what were they protesting against?
Peter Lim, our current owner. So basically against the ownership. They're the ones who have sunk the team. And then there's also the very intelligent people that say, oh, but Peter Lim came to the club and saved it. Oh, well, I mean, what do you mean by saving? He came to the club, bought the shares, and made a deal with one of the banks and put like Valencia's what is the English name? So, for example, if you ask for a mortgage over your house,
like a debt or a loan or something.
No, you can pay the mortgage back, so they take your house because
repossessed.
Foreclosure. Yeah, repossessed.
Yeah, well, not repossessed. Okay, let's give me another example. You want to open a business. You own a house. It's your house. You have no debt over
personal
your house.
guarantee. Guaranteed.
Yeah, the guarantee. Yeah. So
Guaranteed.
basically, he did nothing over the debt. He just put the club and the two stadiums, the new one and the old one, as guarantee for the debt. So we have the same debt. Actually, we have more debt than when Peter Lim came around. So he didn't even save the club. He just made a deal with the bank as guarantee, like with the entire club as guarantee. So he's doing shit. And we're protesting against him for a long while now. And that was a protest against.
This has been a long time, isn't it? I mean, you know, Valencia's selling their best players to
9
clubs
years, mate. 9
for
years.
Bad prices as well.
Yes,
Not
9
getting
years.
Good deals. Yeah.
You know, Valencia has moved around 1 billion euros, either in signings or selling players.
Yeah.
And they calculate that people are investigating over it that 440 million, so nearly half of that billion, went out on commissions. Commissions to whom? Like, what the fuck, man? Where's the money? Where's the money? We're buying expensive players and literally gifting them out at the end or selling them for 1 or 2 million. Like, what the hell is going on?
That is fishy, mate. That. Yeah.
It is very fishy, right?
Yeah.
So it was this protest. The stadium was pretty much empty, not fully empty. We still have that. People are thankful for Peter Lehman saving the club, although he's putting even in a bigger shit than was at the beginning. And they calculate, well, the club saying that outside the stadium there was only 7,000 people protesting, but the police that were surveilling the areas, obviously because it's a protest and there was going to be a lot of people, are saying that their estimates are around 20 and 25,000.
Good turnout.
So yeah, good turnout. A lot of people. And we lost the game. Unfortunately, another game. Out of the past 21 points we played, we've won 1.
Wow.
So out of this past 7 games, we've lost 6 and drew 1.
And dropping like a stone in the table.
Dropping like a stone. We're in 18th, same as Everton. That's why they shouldn't be happy. What the fuck, man? They're fucking 18th. I wouldn't even be happy if we just signed Guardiola. Like, bro, the day we're not there, I'll be happy.
Just lost 2-1 to Bilbao. Where does Valencia go from here then? Worrying, isn't
Hopefully up. Hopefully
Where's
up,
the next 3 points coming from?
The next 3 points are against, which was it? Was it Valladolid? No, Getafe. Yeah, Getafe. Next 3 points are against Getafe, and that's going to be a really important and difficult game because they are 19th. They're 1 position below us. Getafe.
Yeah, that's on Monday the 20th. Monday 20th.
Monday 20th. Yeah, Monday 20th. Yeah. Getafe are 1 position below us, and they have way more experience in trying to get out of relegation positions than us. We're not used to be here at all. I don't know, man. I really have this feeling that Valencia is going to 2nd division.
You think?
Valencia's getting relegated this year.
That's depressing, mate. I'd hate that. I don't even know. I don't know how I'd feel because all that you know, right, is that next season isn't a fun year.
Yeah. You know. Yeah. There's a lot of Valencian.
It's like, oh, we'll just scrap this year. We'll think about it next year.
Yeah.
But
you're
not playing a big game for a year.
A lot of Valencian fans are also comparing this season to the 86th season. That was the only season, the only time we got relegated.
1986.
In our history, 1986. Yeah. And we got promoted the year after.
The day after.
the day after. It was the only time we got demoted, and we got demoted with a pretty decent team. And people are comparing it, and there's just not comparison. Like, the team back then was way better than this team. It was just very bad dynamics. You know, it was like very bad environment around the club, very bad dynamics, and that's what they pulled them down. But the feeling around it was completely different. I know I wasn't even born, but I've heard, and a lot of people have told me about those days. And it was completely different feeling because the ownership, there was not one owner, it was owned by many people, like many fans own stock. I still have shares. My mom also has shares. A lot of my family has shares. Well, basically, the feeling back then, it was that the people were actually together and trying to pull forward, you know. They were trying to turn things around. They were trying to do good signings, making good strategies, signing good coaches. They wanted things to actually work. While right now we have a shit team that is just getting shittier season by season. I know an owner that doesn't give a fuck about the club. He hasn't come to Valencia in 4 years, you know. Or like, what the fuck, man? Like, he has completely abandoned the club. So the feeling is completely different. This feeling, like, no one's actually pushing forward apart from the fans. And obviously the players don't want to get demoted either.
And are those fans still harassing Peter Lim's son on Instagram? Or?
Jesus.
It's not that I follow Peter Lim's son on Instagram that much, to be honest. But I bet they do. I bet they do.
Well, I think, it's going to be, quite a stressful end to the season for you as a Valencia fan. But I think
it's already stressful. It's not the end. The entire season is stressful.
It could be exciting. Well, it's not going to be exciting, but the feeling of relief you might get if Valencia survive. If you survive, you'll feel pretty happy. But are you of the impression you kind of want relegation to maybe provoke Peter Lim to get out? Or
if they could guarantee me that getting relegated would mean Peter Lim will be out and someone better will come in, 100%. I'll take it. I take it. And just rebuild bit by bit. We have a better team than second division teams. Come on, like we should be able to climb up.
And if you fell into the second division, Valencia would easily be the biggest club in this. Other than obviously is it Deportivo La Coruña? Or?
No, Deportivo La Coruña is way lower division. They completely disappeared. That's the case I fear. I fear a Deportivo La Coruña case where they got bought by a similar businessman like Peter Lim. He did shit, and now for the past 6, 7, 8 years, I can't even remember. Like, it's been a long time. They are now on 3rd or 4th Spanish division, so the equivalent of like League One.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a club that has won one Liga, have been second like 6 or 7 times, very close to winning all those times. They've won like 3 or 4 Copa del Reyes. They've won a lot of things. So they were an important club. Obviously, they were not a club as big as Valencia or Real Madrid. But,
I've just found out. So do you know who owns Salford City? Salford Football Club.
I didn't know this until a week or 2 ago. Now I know that Peter Lim owns 50% of the shares, and then like Gary Neville and some of the people 10%.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I think Sento mentioned something to me about Peter Lim,
and you mentioned something about Salford. Yeah,
and then I think I googled it. Yeah.
So
you asked me, doesn't Peter Lim also own Salford? I was like, I'm not sure, and I checked it out. You also checked it out. Yeah.
Nicky Butt, David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Phil Neville,
Gary Neville,
and Peter Lim.
Phil Neville, my good old friend Phil Neville.
What is Peter Lim doing with this lot? I mean, obviously he got to know Gary through the Valencia or whatever, because Gary was at Valencia and did all.
That's why he came to Valencia. They were friends.
Yeah.
Peter Lim. It sounds like Peter Lim was not into football, or in the football world at least, before coming to Valencia. And that's not true. Peter Lim has always been quite involved in football. He owns 50% of Cristiano Ronaldo image rights.
The name.
Yeah. he owns several other stuff like rights from players and stuff like that. If I'm not mistaken.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's mad.
So he must know a lot of people inside, obviously.
So he's got 83% in Valencia, 40% in Salford City.
That 83% it's higher now. I think I believe right now it's 94 or something.
He's got stakes in McLaren.
What, the car?
Yeah. Hotel football next to Old Trafford Stadium. Jesus.
He's a muppet.
He tried buying Liverpool. before buying Valencia, he tried buying Liverpool.
Oh god. Well, all right. Well, we're on a bit of a negative note at the moment. We've covered Valencia to quite some depth. Please get in the comments below if you're a Valencia fan. Senso would probably love to be discussing what's going on at the club with you, whether you're English speaking or Spanish speaking. He can
always
do
like to run about.
He does.
Unless you're Peter Lim, don't jump in the comments.
I like to have a chat with him too. I wouldn't mind.
Get him on the podcast.
Hey, Berlin, like
voice to voice.
Put a comment. Yeah, face to face. If you're there.
But following on then, let's move on to the dismay of another club in this room. Sam, Spurs, battered 4-1.
Oi, dismay of another club. No offence, mate, but we have gone from 18th place Valencia. We've skipped over Chelsea, who's drawn the last 2 games.
We'll come to Valencia. We'll come to Chelsea.
Chelsea ain't important, Ham. That's why
we have gone into the dismay of a team that are 5th for losing to Leicester. Previous Premier League winners.
We're going to chat about the important clubs down here, mate.
I've never heard someone dress up Leicester.
Everton, Leicester, and Valencia.
1 week after beating Manchester City. Boom.
So you're all right with it then? The Leicester loss, you're fine with it?
Absolutely not. I'm just.
I mean, they lost the league against them. They should be no problem.
Oi, settle down.
I'm sorry. I have to take this Valencia anger outside, and somehow. No, I need to blame other people.
Tottenham are in a bit of a pressure situation. I mean, tomorrow we have got AC Milan at San Siro.
Both clubs in a bit of a
AC
downward
Milan
spiral.
Are struggling, which is a bit of a benefit. But Tottenham look like we're going into the game with Tottenham's midfield as Sarr and Skip, a 20-year-old.
Højbjerg is out.
Højbjerg's out. Bentancur
Is he disqualified? Is he sort of banned or is he out injury? I think anyway.
Which, by the way, before that, a little bit of a honorable mention, I guess, talking about AC Milan. Napoli is fucking destroying Serie A.
Do you know what?
I've been following a little bit since the beginning, and
I think Napoli are going to win the Champions League.
Really?
Which I don't think they've won it before. But they look like the best team in Europe right now.
Ooh. I think Tottenham's going to win.
But the Carabao Cup? I don't know.
Højbjerg's out with yellow cards.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hugo Lloris is out with a knee injury.
Fraser Forster, he had a shocking weekend, didn't he?
Ryan Sessegnon's got a thigh injury. Basuma's got an ankle injury. Bentancur's done his ACL. It's a little bit rough.
Eric Dyer was shocking on the weekend. Tanganga was shocking on the weekend. Pedro Porro had an awful debut.
We had no Romero, did we?
No Romero. Pedro Porro, by the way, horrible debut. But what happened with him? Did he play the entire game or did he come out after halftime? Pedro Porro.
Yeah. He played the entire game.
Which, fun fact, Porro or Porro in Spanish means joint. Marijuana joint. Marijuana joint in Spanish. Yeah.
It looked like
just fun fact, and there we go.
It looked like he had a bit of a Porro because he was poor though.
He wasn't 6s and 7s, wasn't he?
It's his first game of the season. We'll cut him some slack. I mean, it wasn't his fault.
He's
I
young.
always thought it was quite promising.
This is what happens when we don't have Romero at the back.
Yeah.
You know, Eric Dyer doesn't do the mustard by himself.
Are you done with Eric Dyer yet, or are you still?
Oh mate, I've been done with Eric Dyer since. Don't know.
Would you happily see?
You know, Valencia wanted them this summer transfer market. Well, we were eyeing him, and you laughed. I remember that. I always remember that. Oh, Eric Dyer, and you just laughed. I was like, not a good option then. And then I remember George saying something of the sort of, I think it would be a really good fit in Valencia.
No, mate. He I don't know. I mean, I would just. He's not quite a Harry Maguire, but he's just a bit. He's just a bit heavy-footed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he can't. He's not got a very good turning circle, is he?
It's not like Harry Maguire. I think you need a lot to be like Harry Maguire.
He's not like heavy-footed, as in he dives into tackles as such. He's just like flat-footed to an extent.
Yeah,
he's always on the balls of his feet, and
yeah.
But then we talk about Harry Maguire. The Man United.
Has he slipped up?
No, mate. He played the Man United game, and he nearly passed it to him. He nearly gave away a goal.
Yeah, I really think Harry Maguire move, won't we?
I think he needs to move.
Yeah, he'll be
for
off
him,
in the
for him. I think it's completely stuck at Manchester United, and he needs something new, a new project, and even better if it's away the Premier League at sea.
Tottenham.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see him at Tottenham, but I think Tottenham's situation is fascinating. You know, the Antonio Conte not signing his contract yet, Harry Kane, bit of a question mark over his future. I think it's fascinating. You know, is it time for Spurs to cash in on Kane big time and just start the rebuild now? You know,
hey, big time. I mean, 100 million for Harry Kane.
100 million is pretty good, though.
Are you though?
Yeah, this day and age doesn't get you much, does it?
You have to be. I think you have to be intelligent.
Yeah.
In the terms of signings and not go like Chelsea. Well, like pretty much no team can do like Chelsea. Like
you got to do a Brighton, haven't you? Got to do a Brighton and Hove Albion.
Not even Brighton. You can get a couple players for like 30, 40 million. They're gonna be good, obviously.
We sold Gareth Bale. We sold Gareth Bale, right? 100 million euros. There's not a single player, I believe, that is around from that money we got.
Soldado was one of the players.
I was just
got Soldado, Eric Lamela.
It was just bad investments in them.
yeah.
Like Barcelona, they sold Neymar for like 240 million, and they bought Coutinho and Dembele for like 120 each. Dembele has been a little bit of cake, definitely not up to 120 million euros, and Coutinho has been. Jesus.
The other week we were talking about Tottenham players that I admired.
Yeah.
And the one that I'm quite upset I missed, Moussa Dembele.
Okay.
Underrated player of his generation. Most underrated player in the Premier League.
Good to watch as well.
It was not worth 120 million though back then.
No.
I don't think he's still worth 120 million now.
No, I'm on about the retired one, the English one. Not the English one.
Okay.
The Belgian one.
Yeah. Oh, the Belgian. Oh, okay.
He played in England.
Yeah.
Holding, yeah.
So where do you think Spurs go from here then? Are you fancying a push for the top four? Do you think it's sort of petering out? What do you think's going on? Yeah, the injury problems are getting quite significant, aren't they?
I think we could do top four, to be fair.
You're feeling hopeful, are you?
Yeah, the way we played against City, it's still there.
Yeah. And has Danjuma played a part yet, or?
Yeah, he's not started.
No.
I think he came on against Leicester, but
yeah.
Not great, is it?
Well, we'll move on to Chelsea now, my team, who played in the early kickoff on Saturday. We didn't get beaten like Spurs, but we did draw. We did draw like Arsenal 1-1.
I don't know what's worse though, like spending 400 million and drawing, or losing 4-1 against the team you lost a Premier League against. I don't know, man. I
don't know who watched it here. But I
watched it all.
Yeah, the first 30 minutes, I was impressed. It was the best I'd seen us play in a while.
Slightly impressed. Okay.
The play, João Felix was picking up little pockets of space. Enzo Fernandez and Ruben Loftus-Cheek were actually pivoting quite well together, and they were being given way too much space.
Mudryk and Havertz scoring offside goal.
Looked quite good. Played in the ball for Havertz. It was offside, but we went 1-0 up. Well, João Felix scored an offside goal, and a little chip hit the post, tapped it in offside.
Yeah,
that was a good sign. We start to think, well, it's a good sign to score, even if it was offside. Because if he missed that,
a lot of offsides though.
A lot of offsides. But then we scored.
What position is Chelsea playing Enzo Fernandez?
Enzo Fernandez
and João Felix both, because Enzo Fernandez can move around the midfield quite a lot.
Enzo was in a two-man midfield with Loftus-Cheek, and he was kind of pivoting, so like going up a little bit, and Ruben would drop back, and then
so
Ruben
he was
would
more
go
forward than defensive.
But he'd drop back as well. He'd swap. They'd swap.
Okay.
They were swapping around. And Felix was floating, really. Felix looked like he was being given a bit of a free roll to sort of pop up where he wanted. Well, I think Felix looked really good. He
more of the wing or more inside?
Everything, mate. He was, he was popping up behind the full back, then he was popping up sort of in front of the centre back and whatever.
He looked energetic.
He was energetic, and he was inspiring. He was exciting. He was electrifying. I was very, to watch the way he was playing. He sort of looked like the sort of guy who turned up to the squad and sort of fancied, taking the ball by the horns, so to speak. We always look a little bit, Havertz doesn't look like he wants to be the main man. And I think the Champions League final goal sort of dressed him up as that. But, as we've sort of learned with time has gone on, I don't think Havertz is the main man. He looks a little bit shy. But Felix has come in and he's got the pizzazz, he's got a little bit of arrogance.
The two players I think you need to replace. So obviously, Kai Havertz, I'll be quite vocal about him.
Definitely,
And who do you think the other one is?
Was he playing?
For me, Kante.
Cucurella.
He was playing. Cucurella.
Yeah, Cucurella looks devoid of confidence.
Diabolical.
He looks like he's got no confidence at all. And in turn, I'm
It's
feeling...
his first season, though.
Yeah.
Still early.
I've not read into it, but I've heard that he's got... I don't know, like I said, not looked into it, but I've heard that Cucurella's got some family problems going on now. I don't want to get in... I don't know what's going on. But if there is stuff going on off the pitch, you can understand why. But I think Mudryk was suffering because of that. Every time Cucurella got the ball, he was turning back, passing it back to the defender. And Mudryk was getting no service at all.
Mudryk wanted the through ball and he wanted to take the player on, and he wasn't getting that.
I think you're going to see Chilwell get a game against Dortmund on Wednesday, which I'm excited about because Chilwell is really good attacking wise. And there was a little Instagram story last week of Chilwell and Mudryk on the exercise bikes together. So I'm hoping that they've got a bit of a friendship blossoming.
Does Brighton play a defensive football?
No, he's trying to. The first 30 minutes against West Ham, I think you saw what Potter's trying to do. We were suffocating them. West Ham couldn't get out.
I mean Brighton, not Chelsea.
No, with Brighton, it was expansive, mate. With Brighton, it was positive football. Okay. Yeah. And
because when he was back in Getafe, he was with Bordalas, and Bordalas is a very defensive coach.
Yeah.
The one we got afterwards.
Well, with Brighton,
so maybe he still has that kind of mentality.
Yeah, maybe. I think with Brighton, he looked like he could definitely play the attacking role, which is why we probably paid head over arse for him too much.
I think give him this half season.
Yeah, give him the half season.
Going the same, I wouldn't even say sell it, but maybe loan it out for one season, see if he, gets back his energy, his motivation.
Well, I think Chilwell's going to come in, and I like Chilwell. Chilwell's a bit fragile, which is annoying, but I think Chilwell attacking wise is really
great for Gaia.
Well, I don't know. It's 63 million. I don't think we're going to let him go that easily. To be honest, I think we're going to probably try.
You can have Emerson Royale if you want.
No way, mate.
Chicken Royale.
Chicken Royale. Yeah. No, but the first goal for Chelsea, my phone was I was watching it. My phone was charging. As soon as that goal went in, I sprang up, grabbed my phone. Enzo Fernandez had just whipped in a delicious ball. Felix on the end of it. It was cooking time. I was dribbling, frothing at the mouth. Picked up the phone, text, sent her and Ham straight away. to voice my excitement, and then it all sort of petered out, didn't it? It petered out to a 1-1 draw in the end. But we will mention before we sort of finish on the Chelsea game, in the last 10 minutes, there was a controversial decision. Now, I don't know if Sento's seen it, but Sam definitely has. I've seen it multiple times. It's a definite handball, isn't it?
I mean, I said at the
I've not seen
time.
it.
I said at the time it's a penalty. To me, it was a penalty. I watch it probably as a penalty, but it's one of those where I think VAR would just have gone with the ref's decision. If the ref called it, it would have been a penalty.
I think they should have made him go over to the screen, though. Do you not think? Like,
this is the problem. It's the inconsistency, isn't it? We don't know.
yeah.
Is his hand in a natural position? It's not there.
Is there a protocol already? Like, if something happens, they can choose to go and watch if they want or not.
Every week, Seno.
I really think, and this should go for La Liga and probably other major leagues or all leagues in general. I think referees in general, and not just because of VAR, in general, need some retraining. I don't know why, but in La Liga, they're being atrocious. And with the VAR, even more. And the main problem of what you're saying is inconsistency. Like, not just with VAR, like checking something or not, or a very similar foul or something of the sort is a foul or a penalty for them. And in another game, it is not. But also, like, fouls and red cards where VAR doesn't have to do anything.
Well, you've got the worst
so inconsistent.
Who's the ref that was the Argentina Netherlands?
Was it
Mateo
Spanish ref, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. People hated it, and I think he did a really good job. I really think so. Man. I watched the game. He stopped. I actually think that. I mean, it was mainly Argentinian fans getting pissed off because they got a lot of their players with yellow cards. And it's still, Mateo Lauf. Mateo Lauf. Because they booked a lot of players. And I still think some Argentinian players deserved red card on that game. I do.
He was dishing out cards like a tapas waiter.
They were all deserved. And for me, Argentina deserved two more, two reds, actually. Which was one of them. Who was it? Like the player that went to the bench? Who was that?
Paredes.
That went to the bench. Yeah, Paredes. Was it Paredes?
Well, when he booted the ball.
Yeah, booted the ball to the bench. Like, he picked the ball and booted the ball to the bench. He didn't even get booked for that. That's at least a yellow, and he already had a yellow, so that would have been a red. Or for me, even a straight red, man. And there was another incident on that same game where one player should have booked with a second yellow and a red, and he didn't get it. For me, Argentina should have ended that game with 9 men.
Do you not think, Sento, that he sort of created that monster because he wasn't consistent? If he gave Paredes the red there, I mean, you set the standard. You don't do that. Otherwise,
no fucking around.
I think the thing is,
he didn't book him. It's just do it.
The thing is, I think it was a bit of he booked everything, in my opinion, that had to be booked, apart from those two situations. And maybe the reason he didn't do that because it was a World Cup match, and I think that was in the first half, the Paredes one. So they would have played with 10 for pretty much the entire game. I don't know.
Because you don't know where you stand.
Hasn't the Hoz been kicked out of refereeing or something?
No. He was sent back after that game in the World Cup.
Well, I've got a little bit of a soft spot for Matthew because he was actually the referee for the Champions League final between Chelsea and Man City, and I thought he had a cracking game. But anyway,
he wasn't. I think he wasn't the ref for the Champions League final against Barcelona, then, was he?
No.
I think it was all right.
But rewinding to this handball in the Chelsea game. If you Centre hasn't seen it yet, but if you do decide to watch the highlight Centre, I think the first time I was watching it, I was a bit like, well, you've seen them not given, you've seen them given. But when you rewatch it, Souček, he's not falling down because he's been pushed or he's falling down because he's been nudged while sprinting, whatever. He's literally chosen to fall over to save the ball. He's dropped to the floor and put his hand down. He's literally goalkeeping. He is goalkeeping. Unbelievable. I wasn't actually that annoyed coming out of the game. The way the Arsenal fans have sort of been throwing their toys out the pram. You sack it up. It happens. The Cucurella hair against Tottenham. furious.
Yeah.
But you got to let it happen. It's got to go. You got to let it go, innit?
Yeah,
you have to let it go.
The thing with the Chelsea one was, the shot wasn't going to go in.
No,
Keeper
it wasn't going to go in. No.
The keeper was going to save it. If it was going in, I would be livid.
I think if Gallagher had a better connection on the ball, because it sort of scuffed.
Yeah.
He sort of scuffed it, didn't he?
Yeah.
But anyway, I think Chelsea. I've actually wanted to say I've been sat here all day thinking about this moment. There's a lot of Chelsea fans out there right now, and actually some quite well-esteemed ones who have a big following on social media, who are saying that if we don't get 3 points on Saturday against Southampton, Potter's got to go. Now, yeah, if we don't get 3 points against Southampton, it's catastrophic because they're in dire straits. But you've got to realise the last 12 months for Chelsea have been an absolute, whirlpool. We've had the sanctions, fans couldn't go to the stadium, the shop was shut, we had the owners come in at the drop of a hat, we had a huge summer transfer window of chaotic spending because half the staff...
He has to go.
I don't think he has. I think, you got to, the fact the last 12 months, so much has changed. The squad's changed, the ownership's changed, the backroom staff
But it's the manager's job to take the player's mind away from that shit.
But I think
I think it's a settling down time.
Yeah.
I don't think, I would give him this full season and see next season.
Yeah.
I would.
Let the dust settle. I
don't think it's doing a bad job overall either way.
I think you're starting to see positive signs. Like I said, we didn't look awful against West Ham. We had good signs of play. These players have only played a couple of games with each other, and for João Felix, just the one. We've got a big squad. Let's get to the summer. Let's sort the squad out, trim it down, which we'll have to do if we don't make top four anyway, which I think is a positive. If we have to trim the squad.
But we're also saying, if you lose against Southampton, how much worse do you get?
Well, obviously, if we lose to Southampton...
You're just saying this because you want to snatch out Potter for Spurs this summer, right?
I'd rather have him for England, to be fair.
I think whatever happens this season, if we get ready, this is silly. Whatever happens, because we're not going to finish less than 12th, are we? I think Potter's got to stay. I think we've got to give him the keys, let him get rid of players in the summer. And I think, let everything settle, let the dust settle, give the players a pre-season. If we trim down the squad, I think it's a good thing. Let's get sort of a team camaraderie going again. And if you haven't heard, Chelsea actually hired the All Blacks psychological coach or something like that. So
yeah, I did hear
team
that.
spirits hopefully on the way back. And I think let everything calm down. I can actually envisage us coming back in the summer, for next season as a fresh outfit. I think we could look good. Enzo Fernandez and João Felix were so good the other day. That's the first time they've played together. So it's just a case of being patient, I think. And I think the one thing Chelsea have had to get away from is this chaotic... I think the fans are too used to chaos, too used to things changing when things aren't going right. We need to get used to being patient, because even if Graham Potter doesn't work out in a year's time, the fact we've been patient will pay off in dividends for the fact the next manager coming in will know he's going to get a fair crack of the whip. So I think whatever happens, we've got to stick with Graham Potter and make a decision probably this time next year. That's my take.
Yeah, what
if you're
Chelsea
a Chelsea fan,
needs is stability. Definitely.
Yeah, stability.
After all these changes, stability is the key.
And I think Todd Burley's going to give him that. I think if you look at the way he's ran LA Dodgers, although he's not got the majority of ownership there, if you look at the way he's ran things or helped to run things, they have kept or stood by the manager's side even through difficult moments. So I do think Potter's going to be given time. I think the whole Chelsea hiring and firing image is gone. And I think Burley's going to work quite hard to get rid of that. So he's going to be quite stubborn with Potter, I think.
Maybe Potter might have to go if you don't even in a Conference League position by the end of the season. But I don't think
so. I think whatever happens, unless we
what
finish
would you
60...
say what would you say the objective is for Chelsea? Like the real one, not what you want or what whatever.
A realistic one.
But or what do you think the Chelsea administration has told Potter? Hey, this season's objective is getting at least 4th position or Europa League positions or whatever.
I think saying get into Europa League at least. I think for now we're saying string some bloody wins together for a start, but at the end of the day, Europa League, I think 6 minimum. Try to go.
I think for Chelsea's future, I think it would be even better for you to settle down in Europa Leagues instead of Champions League. So next year you still have European competition and a chance to win a European title, but at the same time, maybe it's not such a difficult title like Champions, where you're gonna play against all those big teams, and you have time for the new players, because this summer, I guess, this summer is going to be a lot of changes too, because in my opinion,
a lot of players will go out.
You still need some changes.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Another player though, we brought in January called Andre Santos from Vasco, a team in Brazil. He's the under-20s.
Is he a midfielder?
Yeah, midfielder. Yeah. He's a captain for the under-20 Brazil team, who are currently playing in the I think it's called basically the South American sort of like the European tournament, but South American. So the South American teams under-20 are playing.
Copa Libertadores.
I think it's called the CONMEBOL. I can't remember what it's called, but he's playing in it.
What?
CONMEBOL.
CONMEBOL.
Yeah, something like that.
Well,
anyway, he's scored about 5 goals from central midfield, captain as well, and I think he's looking like he's going to have a bit of a future at Chelsea even this season. Another player to be excited about. 18 years old, scoring goals. Looks like a bit of a leader. Looks like he's quite versatile in midfield as well. So yeah, it's something to be excited about.
It is Copa Libertadores.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think yeah.
Well, there you go. I think that's about it for Chelsea. I think Chelsea fans, be patient. Basically, I think you got to be saying we're going to be picking up 3 points against Southampton. They've just sacked Nathan Jones. He's probably a David Brent character, isn't he?
12 games in charge. 12?
Yeah. And all the quotes he was saying, it was funny, wasn't it? I mean, I do feel bad for him. He looked like a fish out of water in some aspects, didn't he? Did you see that quote he said? It was like, I could have taken an easy life in rural Wales as a PE teacher, but I didn't. Something like that. It was so David Brent.
Yeah. But Southampton are in a bit of a
bottom of the table,
place.
Rock bottom.
Yeah.
Rock
Who
bottom.
do they get in to bring them out?
That's the thing. I think getting rid of Hasenhüttl was the wrong decision. No?
I agree. Yeah.
Why?
Because he was the one to get him out of the sticky situations like this.
Yeah.
He could string together some wins.
Yeah.
Who was the replacement?
Well, they haven't got one now. I think this is the problem they're having. They're all sat there thinking that I've seen Southampton fans asking for Poch. That's not going to happen. Pochettino's not coming. Yeah.
Jesus.
He's not going back.
What's going back to Southampton?
Yeah.
They wish.
It's just, I think they've really...
He's the PSG manager.
They need a manager like Bordalás. Actually, Bordalás would be a really good option because he knows how to get the most out of his teams.
I've got a good one.
What?
How about Roberto Martinez? What's he doing?
You can take him. I don't want him.
Where is he?
I think he's been relieved. He's been relieved of his Belgium duties, isn't he?
That's what I mean. He hasn't gone anywhere since, has he?
No. You can take him. Southampton. He was also linked to Valencia. Well, a lot of sort of coaches have been linked to Valencia this past 2 weeks. But I don't want him. Please no. If we get Roberto, well, man, if we get him, we're definitely going. We definitely getting relegated.
Yeah. Well, we could. I mean, we could be. I won't touch Man United. I think we briefly touched on them being in the title race. It was a boring game against Leeds, and they tucked away a few goals in the last 15 minutes.
Quick update: Roberto Martinez is now currently the manager of Portugal.
That's it. That's what. I remember. I did think he went somewhere else.
Oh yeah. True.
Yeah.
Well, you can have it, Portugal. You can have it.
Keep them up.
Before we
them in the Nations League.
We've got the Merseyside derby coming up in about 20 minutes. So quickly, let's go around the table. Who's going to win, Centre? Liverpool, Everton.
Yeah, I know.
Anfield.
Yeah, Anfield.
I don't know. I'm going to give it to my pals in the same position as us, Everton. Yeah. We're position pals right now.
Everton 2-1.
I think Everton as well.
Really?
Yeah, and in which case Liverpool are in... I think the worst I've seen them in. Even Brendan Rodgers Liverpool. Not as bad as Roy Hodgson Liverpool, to be fair. And that was a state, wasn't it?
But what is Klopp responsible for this? I mean, last season they were 2 games off winning the quadruple.
Yeah, it's comical, isn't it? I mean, Liverpool, I think they've had so much change behind the scenes. I mean, I haven't read too much into it, but for what I have read, they've had all this change from technical directors and stuff. I think they've got a lot of got a big summer ahead, to be fair. lot on the pitch and off the pitch. So
Negative dynamics. They're just in negative dynamics.
Nunes needs to start netting, doesn't he?
yeah. Well, we got like I said, big games this week. We've got obviously the Arsenal Man City title, not decider, but title race, first instalment, part 1. That's going to be exciting.
And
We've
we've
got Spurs Milan tomorrow.
First round. Oh, beautiful. First round of knockout stages on Valentine's Day. Couldn't ask for it.
What?
Couldn't ask for any much more love.
Yeah. Chelsea Dortmund on Wednesday, so I'll be dual screening the Chelsea Dortmund and Arsenal Man City game. We've got Barcelona Man United on Thursday.
Oof.
5 p.m. I think that one. So lunchtime,
That's interesting.
dinner
That's
time
interesting.
game. Yeah, good game. And then obviously on the weekend, a whole new raft of fixtures on the domestic leagues. And in which case, please do check our Twitter. We post these lovely little fixture list of the Pixel kits and times for the games. So something to just pop in on a weekend morning and just check what's going on in the football through pixelated lenses.
With great little pixel art by our artist, Fever Noval.
Heaven over ball.
I know. I'm just going to keep up the Fever Noval. I love it.
When are Arsenal playing in Europe?
Next week, I think. Is it next week? Are they out?
Oh,
Are they?
they are, mate. Don't think they are playing in Europe.
No. Well,
Beautiful.
Oh, they win in the Premier League, though.
yeah.
All right.
Well, before we leave, we do have to quickly revisit British service station or unfamiliar football. And now I'm hoping you've both got your answers for Widrington. Widrington.
I go for a service station. I stick to my decision. It sounds like a place name, and if that's a footballer, tell him to buy a service station and call it like that, so you can give me the point.
Sam, Sam's probably got to go with footballer then. But if you had the choice, what would you have gone for?
Yeah, I would have gone for a place because Widrington, you got a lot of tons going on.
Yeah, that's why.
There's a lot of tons in there.
But there's also tons in surnames, though.
There are in some
That's the
surnames.
thing. I don't know.
And surnames definitely have a ton at the end.
Yeah.
So, Sensor, you've gone with a service station.
Yeah.
And where do you think this Widrington service station is?
Widrington. Literally.
You think it's in Widrington?
No. For some reason, it rings me a bell. Something in between. I was gonna say Oxford and Reading, not Leicester.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the same sort of place.
Central South England.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, well, this week, ladies and gentlemen, British service station or unfamiliar footballer Widrington, I can confirm, is a footballer. Theo Widrington of Kings Lynn Town Football Club, midfielder. His father, Tommy Widrington, is actually the manager of the Linnets, nickname for Kings Lynn Town, who currently sits second in the National League North, which is the 5th division of English football after the Premier League, the Championship, League One, and League Two. So there you go.
What position you said he plays that?
He's a midfielder, Theo Widrington.
He's a midfielder.
And his father, Tom
Steve
Widrington, is the manager of Kings Lynn Town. So even though Sam went second there, he's come out with all 3 points.
Okay, we're giving 3?
I say 3 points. So I think we'll have to figure this out later. We'll discuss it off air.
we can do draws. In which case, in this case, would have been a draw because
1 point.
obviously Ham. We're
changing the rules.
No. This doesn't count. No. This still is.
We're playing football. We're moving goalposts.
This still is acceptable. I mean, I've lost. That's okay. But I mean, shall we change so there are draws and we can do it like a league? So there's 3 and 1 point.
We'll discuss this. We'll discuss it off there. We'll discuss it off there.
All right. This is my loss, obviously.
Congratulations, Sam. Yeah, Widrington. Tune back in next week.
Yeah.
Much pleasure.
And tune back in when Man City are top of the table.
Oh yes. This time next week, Man City top of the table.
Well, it might not be.
I say Man United. Man United will be top of the table.
Jesus.
See ya. I'm sorry. He came to Madrid to play fucking golf, mate.
He scored the bicycle kick.
That's it. That's all he did. That's all he did.
Everyone, every single little fucker, still, and I still only ever see this, is the Ronaldo bicycle kick.
I still remember that bicycle. That bicycle kick was amazing. I do remember it still.
I personally think Bale's was just like pristine.
At least I expected more out of Bale.
But he scored some iconic goals for Real Madrid.
Oh yeah,
like the sprinting one against Barcelona.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, Barcelona, that one.
But he spent more time playing golf than football.
I think he just. I think he didn't feel loved or something. Do you know what I mean?
The Spanish are
didn't feel loved
against the Brits.
Nah, man. No, it's not against Bale. It's Brits. Jesus. I hate you all, mate. Yes, we hate Brits.
You do.
As a reason.